You're about to watch a live stream from our Facebook group. It's a club where we pretty much just talk about board games all day long. Usually I'll live stream at least once a day, and everyone's invited. It's free, obviously. So if you're interested in coming to hang out with us, click the link in the description below. Hope to see you there. Hey everybody, here it is Saturday in April, another beautiful day. Finn is playing T-ball now. You liking T-ball? Yeah. You might see some cans of beans, and that is actually a really ghetto rig that we have set up to have the camera face down. So I am going to try to buy something a little better than this. However, at any point, especially if Finn touches the table, which he's been doing, it might just all come toppling down, and that'll be a really funny video. So hopefully you're watching live so you can see all the cool stuff that might terribly happen. But today, we are talking about what game, Finn?
Monopoly.
Yes. The dreaded Monopoly. When you say you like board games and people say, oh, like Monopoly, and you go, boom, or at least you want to. I try not to talk about Monopoly, but someone posted a link today, Kristen, and so I wanted to go over some of the things that are house rules that people don't realize are house rules, just because I think it's good for people to know the real rules of Monopoly. The problem is most of the house rules involve adding more money to the pot to free parking or various places, and what that does is it keeps people in the game a long time, too long, and then the game never ends up playing, and then Monopoly has that sort of reputation that it's a game that lasts all night or never ends. And if you play by the rules, you can actually end Monopoly pretty quickly. So let's go over some of the worst offenders, and we'll give an example of what they are. So here I have my laptop. Sorry, it's kind of blocking the shot a little bit. And again, this isn't a great shot of the board because I have my little ghetto tin can thing going. That, of course, could fall at any time. So bear with me. Number one, if you're lucky enough to land right on the go space, collect $400. So let me move this laptop. Let me move this up here so we can see go. And here we have go right here, right? And a lot of times people play that if you're going around the board and you land directly on go, instead of getting the regular $200, you get double $400. Now this is something that my dad says is an actual rule, but if you look in the rule book, it is not a rule. It gives more money in people's pockets, more money kicking around the game, meaning people never go bankrupt and the game never ends. Don't do it. Number two, what are you doing? I see Finn over here. He's doing.
Daddy?
Yeah.
I can't remember which game we did on the first live video.
Maybe it was Forbidden Desert. I don't know. You want to look it up afterwards? Yeah. This is Finn. Finn's been on probably at least 2 or 3 videos. What did we play yesterday? Cartagena? Okay. Number 2, have you heard of a Monopoly Mercy rule? I don't know. It's not an official rule. I never heard of that. I guess that's if you get to a certain dollar amount, like let's say you have $15,000 in assets. I don't know. Number 3, chance cards are optional. Again, another house rule I never heard of. Free parking. Now here is the big one. A lot of people play $500 in the middle, and then if you land right on free parking, pop, 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 then you get all the money. I see a lot of other people play that if somebody else lands on, let's say, luxury tax or any of the chance cards that make you pay money to the bank, instead you put it in the middle, and then whoever lands on free parking gets all of that. This is the worst offender. This is not a rule. Do not do this. I'm serious. I'm actually going to come in to show how serious I am. Finn, if you ever play Monopoly and you put free money on free parking, you are not my child anymore. No, then don't you ever do that. Don't you ever put money on free parking or in the middle when you play Monopoly. You got it? You got it?
Got it.
Never put money in the middle. Free parking is free. It's not give you money parking. It would be called give you money parking if that's what it was.
How do you get the dollars?
You get it when people land on your properties, or if from community chest and chance cards. That's how you get money. Or when you pass go, you get $200. But free parking, so people think, what's the point of free parking if you don't like get any money from it? Well, especially towards the end of the game, it's really nice to have a spot that's free. If there are hotels all on the oranges, all on the reds, which are very good properties, and you're in jail, which again, jail is I think the number one top space to land in the game. Just like statistically, that's you're most likely to be on the square. And then because of its proximity to jail, because 10 spaces away, you could either roll a 10 and get there, or you could roll a 4 and then a 6, or whatever. Free parking is actually landed on quite a bit. So, I'm talking. Can you wait till I'm done talking and then ask? Okay. So, it is a spot that's landed on a lot. So, it is nice to go there and not have to pay hotels if these are some of your enemies here. So, free parking is just free. What do you got for me, Finn?
Are you gonna play the whole game?
No, I'm just showing some rules. We're not actually going to play. We've actually never played Monopoly. Maybe we should get Monopoly Junior. Okay, number 5. You turn in your properties to the bank when you go bankrupt. Yeah, that's not a thing. Let's say if Finn and I were playing and I land on Finn's spot. Let's say he has St. James Place, and let's say he's got, a hotel on here, and obviously if he has a hotel, then he has to have at least 4 properties or 4 houses on the other spots. And I don't know if that's covered in this article, but if not, I'm going to talk about it. So if I land here and I don't have enough money to cover this, whatever that might be, let's say it's $1,000, I don't know. Let's say I only have $900, $999. I have to give Finn all of my money and all of my properties. That's the rule. It doesn't go to the bank. It goes to the person who killed you, who got you out, for lack of a better term. And this goes, again, the whole point of all this stuff is it speeds the game along. If Finn now has all my properties, now he could either mortgage them and build up more hotels, or he could build on my properties, and it makes the game go faster, makes the game end. Okay, so follow these rules. What do we got next, Finn? Number 6. Can you read it?
When you choose not to buy a property you've landed on it, simply time for the next player's turn.
Isn't he such a good reader? 5 years old, everybody. So a lot of times people play, you roll the dice, right? You land on Virginia Avenue. I want to buy Virginia Avenue, but I don't have enough money. I don't have $160. Or I just don't want it. I don't feel like it. Just move along. That is the wrong way to play. The right way to play, Finn, is you auction it. So what happens is you take the card, with Boardwalk in this case, and you auction it off. And highest bidder wins. So you could actually bid on it if you, let's say I were to land on Virginia Avenue and I know that nobody else has any money or nobody else wants it. Maybe I pass on it and then I bid $10 on it and win it, or maybe I get it for $50. And just like a little strategy here, if you've got the money, you should always bid at least half of what it's worth, because you could always mortgage it. Stop touching it. Or at least its mortgage value. For instance, Mediterranean Avenue, right? This is still in the plastic. Finn, I'm talking to him. So Mediterranean Avenue is $60, and you could mortgage it for $30. So you might as well buy it for $30, and then if you want that money, immediately mortgage it and get that $30 back. So it's as if you didn't pay anything, and now you have the option to buy it, or you have the option to unmortgage it, or you at least keep it out of someone else's hands. So anyway, yeah, if you land on a property, and you don't buy it, then it immediately goes to auction, and the highest bidder wins. And obviously, when you are bidding, you can mortgage properties to raise money to buy it. Okay, what's next? Number 7.
7. Players can't collect rent and property while they're in jail.
Yeah, and now these are the incorrect rules that they're listing out. So a lot of people play that if you are in jail, you cannot collect rent on your properties, and that is just not the case. Now, one thing, a lot of people don't pay to get out of jail, even though they can, because they don't want to end up landing on some of these hotels. Again, that's why free parking is such a nice spot later in the game, and jail could be a nice spot too, because you don't want to land on people's hotels, especially if you don't have any properties in this area. All right, number 8, Finn. What is it?
When 3 different players land on 3 real
Related
related properties, each of them gets a cool 500 from the bank.
Yeah, so I guess this is saying, I never heard of this one. Let me see. When 3 players, so let's say 3 players were to land, let's say on Kentucky Avenue, Indiana Avenue, and Illinois Avenue. I guess there's a house rule that each of them would collect $500 from the bank. Never heard of that. Terrible rule. Keeps more money in the game. Nobody wants that. What's up, Jimmy? I see James is here. Say hi to James. We're going to see him later tonight. That was a bad hi. Okay, so that was... Oh, you skipped it, Finn. Okay, number 9.
A rule of snake eyes also pays $500.
Now, Finn, do you know what snake eyes is?
What?
This is snake eyes. 2 ones. If you roll and you get 2 ones, that's snake eyes. Apparently, there's a house rule that if you roll snake eyes, you get $500. Again, not a rule. Let's not add more money than we have to. Number 10.
You can take loans from the bank or from other places to buy properties that you can't afford.
Can't afford. So this is saying some people play where you could take loans, or you could borrow properties, or you could take loans from the bank, and you can't. If you can't afford it, you can't buy it. And if you don't have enough money to pay for something, you go bankrupt. Nobody can keep you in the game. Remember, the name of the game here is getting people out of the game. That's what we want Monopoly to do. You build up Monopoly, you bankrupt people, get them out of the game. That's how the game ends. There's no other way it's going to end, so don't add more money than you have to. Okay, Finn, number 11.
You have to make it all the way around the board once before you can start buying properties.
Yeah, so again, I think this is a rule my dad plays with, that you have to go all the way around the board before you could start buying properties. And again, what would be the point of this? All it does is slow the game down. Already a long game. Why would you wait? It doesn't make any sense. So it's not a rule, never was a rule. Don't do it. Skip it. Number 12.
2 landing on go.
2.
12 landing on go gives you the power of
Teleportation. Yeah, I never heard this one, but apparently some people play with a rule where you land on go, and then you could teleport anywhere you want. I guess you would go somewhere that you wanted to buy. Oh, here's another thing while I'm thinking about it. This is Reading Railroad. Reading, MF, Pennsylvania. Not Reading, so make sure you say it right. It's Reading. And there was some other tip I wanted to say earlier, but I forget what it was. Hopefully I remember. All right, 13. I think there's only 14 of these.
No, 13. You can't have to.
You can't?
You can't have to.
No, it doesn't say you can't.
You don't have to own all the properties in a single category before you start building them.
Very good. Category 5. What a smart guy, right? You don't have to own all the properties on a single category before you start building on them. Okay, so yeah, you do have to own all properties before you start building. And so here's another thing. Let's talk about building. Let's say that I own all, let's say, I'm just going to open this up. So we're talking about, the oranges, okay? Again, you can see how much I like Monopoly since it's not even open. Okay, so let's say I have the oranges, right? St. James, Tennessee, and New York. Now, if I just own St. James and Tennessee, but not New York, I cannot build anything. And if someone lands on it, it would just be the regular rent, 14. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't know. If you own all three, your rent actually doubles. So if you look at the bottom, there's some fine print here. Okay, please. If a player owns all the lots of any color group, the rent is doubled on unimproved lots. So what that means is instead of $14, St. James pays twice as much, 28. A lot of people don't realize that. So once you have all three, not only do you get double rent, but then you're allowed to build. Here's the other thing. Let's say I want to build and I'm just, let's say I have an enemy here and I really think he's going to land on New York because you're more likely to roll a 4 than you are to roll a 3 and you can't roll a 1. So let's say I have enough money and I want to build a hotel here.
Daddy?
Yeah.
When am I gonna be done?
Okay. You can go now. Go. Okay. Where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? Finn. So let's say I want to build on New York Avenue a hotel. You cannot do that. That is illegal. You have to build evenly. Just leave that here. Go ahead. So what evenly means is you have to build as evenly as you can. So let's say I did want to build on New York Avenue. I do one there. I can't build a second until there is at least one more on each of these. It's being really annoying. So then I could build the second. So what that means is before I can build a hotel on New York Avenue, I need 4 houses on all of them. Right? You get the idea. Once there's 4 houses, then can you stop? Go. Get out of here. You're being too loud. If you don't want to be in the video, don't ruin it. So yeah, so you need 4 houses on each of them. And then once you have 4 houses, then you could finally build a hotel. Here's another thing. You can't build 2 hotels. You can't just double the value of the hotel and build another one. That's it. Another tip is if there are no hotels or there are no houses left available, you just can't build anymore. So that's a strategy that some people use. They actually, instead of building hotels, they'll just build a bunch of houses all over the place just to gobble up all the houses so other people can't build. It's a pretty good strategy, but usually if you are able to buy that many houses, you're probably just going to win anyway. So, number 14, the game starts with a frantic cash grab. This is one of the stranger rules. I don't even know what this is. Finn, can you please stop? Stop. Don't touch that box. Do not touch that box. Because it's got a bit of a listening thing. Instead, you take half the money in the game and pile it on a table. Everyone counts to 3 and grabs cash. Yeah, that's a version I've never heard of. So anyway, those are the main house rules here that are incorrect and corrected. So if you do play Monopoly, it's actually not a bad game if you play by the rules. Do not add extra money. Do not slow the game down. Try to bankrupt people as much as possible. Auction off properties. That makes the game go faster. People get monopolies faster. And call it a day. And you know what? It's not too bad of a game when you do that. So anyway, that's what I got. Let me know if you have any Monopoly strategies. Let me know what your favorite color group is, okay? So I've got an idea on which color I like. Let's go back a little bit. So between, you got the purples, the light blues, the magentas, orange, red, yellow, green, and blue, dark blue. Everyone probably has a favorite. I know what my favorite is. Why don't you tell me your favorite in the comments? And I'll put a link to this in case somebody wants to buy Monopoly, or if you just want to check out. You know what? This is what I'll do. I'll find a cool edition that I would actually buy, and I'll put a link to it in the comments. Other than that, I'd like to hear if you have any weird house rules or what your favorite color group is. So, thanks for watching. See you later.